Tuesday or Wednesday, March 18th, and happy afternoon. Wow, this change in routine has gotten me a little bit confused on time. At any rate, here we go. We are on day 47 of the Tao. Without going out the door, knowing everything. That's kind of appropriate for today. All right. Without going out the door, knowing everything. Without peeking out the window shades, seeing the way of heaven. The sage understands without having to go through the whole process. She is famous without showing herself, is perfected without striving. I'm going to read that over again. Without going out the door knowing everything, without peeking out the window shades, seeing the way of heaven. The further you go, the less you know. The sage understands without having to go through the whole process. She's famous without showing herself, is perfected without striving. All right, so that's good reading for today and seeing, what we can achieve without leaving our doors. Reading from Believing in Myself, a quote from Andrew Carlos. Beneath all depression lurks the demon anger. Myra is as lovely as she is depressed. In spite of her many merits, she suffers from low self-esteem. With all of her heart, she's trying to do what it takes to pull herself up. Yet a powerful inner anchor is holding her down. The invisible, but very real anchor that weighs Myra down is the anger she will not own. And because she doesn't own it, it owns her. Myra suffered through a painful divorce several years ago. Her husband left her for a much younger woman. Her hurt and eventually rage knew no bounds. Then, like a volcano, it slowly stopped erupting. Myra decided to put it out of her mind, yet it never went out, not completely. Today, Myra is dating a powerful, wonderful man who loves her. Everything looks promising except for that invisible anchor. Myra is often down, uneasy, and fearful, even though her new relationship is going well. The new man in her life doesn't understand it, and neither does she. Yet it's really no mystery. Depression and the anger beneath it simply can't be dismissed. It must be faced and reckoned with if self-esteem is ever to rise. I'm no longer willing to let yesterday's anger ruin today. And as we all have a very different today than we were confronted even 2 or 3 days ago, it's a good time to confront your anger and your depression and all the things that you've been masking by your day in and day out behaviors that have been kind of enabled by the normalcy of everything the way it had become. And now with things different and people at home that you'd normally be hiding from, maybe some things you're going to be confronted with. So it's time to really be aware of anger and all the things that we're holding on to that we weren't in the past. Okay, moving on to safety, another one that's kind of hitting a nerve for today. One of the long-term effects of living in a dysfunctional family as children or adults is that we don't feel safe. Much of what we call codependency happens because we don't feel safe in relationships. This can cause us to control, obsess, or focus on the other person while neglecting ourselves or shutting down our feelings. We can learn to make ourselves feel safe and comfortable as part of a nurturing, loving attitude toward ourselves. Often we get a feeling of safety and comfort when we attend 12-step meetings or support groups. Being with a friend or doing something nice for ourselves helps us feel protected and loved. Sometimes reaching out to another person helps us feel safe. Prayer and meditation help us affirm that our higher power cares for us. We are safe now. We can relax. Perhaps others haven't been there for us in a consistent, trustworthy way, but we are learning to be there for ourselves. Today I'll concentrate on making myself feel safe and comfortable. And this again is so important as we are now finding ourselves more and more in close contact with our loved ones that we normally would be spending our days away from. So as we find ways for ourselves to feel safe, remember that self-care has always been something that we value and hold dear as part of owning our sovereignty and having our self-esteem. So as we go through all these new times, remember, find ways to practice your self-care regime and keep it going. That way you will replenish yourself and not be reliant upon the others around you to keep you fulfilled. All right, moving on to miracles from Living the Course. Miracles aren't reserved for the few. The Course is perhaps the only source, not the curse, the Course is perhaps the only source of teaching which lets us know that miracles are available to all of us. What we're learning here is that miracles aren't as mysterious as we'd believed. You don't have to be anyone but who you are to receive one. In fact, you can claim one for yourself at any time you choose. To receive a miracle takes no more time than an instant. It doesn't take any special prayer, a unique relationship with God, or an extremely fortunate life. It only takes an open mind and a willing heart. But what's the process for receiving a miracle? It's asking a simple question. Holy Spirit, will you please help me see this situation in a more loving way? Miraculously, the new perspective comes. Miraculously, the burden of worry or fear or anger dissolves. A miracle is reserved for me today if I want it. Yes, indeed. Again, we are so blessed with many, many opportunities for miracles to happen in the days to come. Just keep your attitude open and your eyes open, and you will see it right in front of your eyes. Okay. Again, happy Wednesday, March 18th, and tune in tomorrow. If you haven't already subscribed, please do, and subscribe to the podcast as well, and check out some of the other recordings I've done. Have a great day, everybody. Bye now.